What's up, guys? Draft day finally made it. My prediction for the Jets. My prediction, just my guess, not a ringing endorsement. Don't kill me. Don't kill the messenger if it's not your thing. I think they're going to take Tyler Warren in round one, and I think they're going to try and get a starting right tackle at pick 42. And the visits tracker is definitely far from gospel, but it's better than just my hunch. I would imagine it's evidence that we could look to. They've been sniffing around that day two tackle market pretty significantly, and I think that's what they're going to do. I think that Warren, the talent and team need definitely fit. It just comes down to the positional value, the history of drafting tight ends high, and him being a late breakout player as a fifth year senior who was playing behind other guys that got drafted in the NFL at tight end at Penn State. So that would be the concern. And the drop rate was kind of higher as previous years. But what I saw from Tyler Warren last year, I'm like, I think he's bringing a higher floor than people give him credit for. And I think stylistically, he really fits with the Jets' current personnel and probably brings the biggest day one impact to the team. And I think that him as a culture guy is going to be a Glenn type of guy. So my prediction is Tyler Warren, and I'm down with it. My preference would still be Armand Membou. It'd be easier to say the names that I guess would piss me off because it's not many. Of all the recent rumors, Kelvin Banks has been a popular one now, Jalen Walker. I think Jahdae Barron would be the one of like WTF, man, of all the recent rumors. And he's an awesome player. Let's not set him up for slander, but I mean, I don't think we need to spend much time to describe why, a versatile defensive back at pick number 7 for this team where they're at and with their current personnel is just not the best resource allocation. But yeah, man, you could tell me on any of those top 3 tackles, Will Campbell, Armand Membou, Kelvin Banks. I think teams could have them ranked in any order depending on who they see at guard, left tackle, right tackle, what kind of style you want. So I'm cool with any of those tackles. And I guess if we're dabbling into tight end waters, I mean, if we're cool with Warren, I would have to say we're cool with Loveland too, because I do think Warren is a better tight end prospect than Loveland. But I mean, if the NFL was split on that, I wouldn't be shocked. If NFL GMs are split on that, Loveland is, almost 2 years younger. I think he definitely, watching him in Warren, Loveland maximizes his catch radius much more, where Warren has a little bit shorter wingspan and he's more of a body catcher. And I think Loveland is a little bit more of a natural route runner and separator, or Loveland is a better route runner separator than Warren. But Warren is just an absolute tank with the ball in his hands. He gives you really good yak ability where Loveland doesn't really break many tackles. And I think that would be a big feature in how the Jets would utilize him. And Warren probably gives you the potential to be a better blocker. I don't think they're blocking at the collegiate level when they were both asked to block defensive linemen rep for rep. I don't think it's that massively different. I think Loveland scraps better than he's given credit for. I don't think he is some Dalton Kincaid slot receiver. I think he can hang in line a bit. But of course, it's the modern tight end, so you're going to have them in the slot. You're going to have them moving all around and getting matchups you want. So, man, are there really 2 tight ends worthy of taking in the top 15? Feels more likely that there's none than 2, right? But hey, Daniel Jeremiah has them both as top 8 players on his big board. He has them both rated higher than any of the offensive linemen not named Will Campbell. So if we're dabbling in Warren waters, then Loveland should be in the conversation as well too, in my opinion. So offensive tackle, cool. Loveland, Warren, cool. McMillan, pass catcher. I like McMillan a lot. I like T-Mac. I don't think the Jets are going to go receiver in round 1. I really would be surprised if they did that. But if they did, I think relative to the draft class, you could justify him as well. And then defense. To me, defensive line is the only justifiable pick on defense. Like, I mean, what you're taking, like someone like taking Jahad Campbell and then trading Quincy Williams? No, I don't want to get rid of good players. The few good players that we have, like let's fill existing holes. Let's not create new holes. Same thing with Breece and Genty to me, although Genty is awesome and Breece is coming off a down year. But to me, if they're going defense, it should be a defensive lineman. I don't think a safety is worth taking at 7. There's none. There's no Kyle Hamilton in this class. Corner, I don't think the Jets are going to take a corner in the top 2 rounds because you have 3 starting corners under contract for the next 2 years. So to me, it would have to be a defensive lineman. So Graham, cool, but again, it's just like Tyler Warren, Loveland. It's hard to, where do you draw that line? Because if you're down for Graham, I don't know how you can write off Walter Nolan, right? Jets did also visit with Derek Harmon, who might have a medical. Jalen Walker has been a popular one, and he's a really interesting, exciting player, and he is raved about as a character leader guy, like exceptional, off the charts, a guy who's going to have a C on his chest soon. I think in order to justify that, you'd have to play him at edge a lot, like primarily at edge would have to be his home base, which he's smaller, but he's got long enough arms and enough play strength that I think to hang at edge. And then he'd have to moonlight, in my opinion, as a zone dropper, a QB spy, a blitzer. He really excelled at that. Didn't really show the natural coverage skills as a linebacker, and didn't get enough reps at edge to truly show a pass rush repertoire. So it's definitely a very projection based pick. But if Aaron Glenn wants to get a centerpiece of his defense and a future captain, okay, like all these things you could sell me on, and then you want to go Michael Williams, Shamar Stewart. I'm definitely getting less optimistic. But truly, all the rumors, man, it's just not Jahdae Barron. Like, to take either a pass catcher or a trench player in the first round, for me, please. I think they'll be active trying to trade back, like a lot of teams. Don't think they'll be trading up from 7. And looking at the rest of the draft, I do predict they'll take a tackle in round 2. I don't think they should draft a running back at all. I think they should spend 0 draft capital at running back. If they want to carry a 4th running back, pick up a UDFA, sign somebody off the street, even the 6th round pick, like just spend it at a different spot. I'd honestly rather them take a kicker in the 6th round than a running back, to be honest. And I do think we could see, so again, no corner in rounds 1 or 2 for me. And also a position, if we're crossing off positions, I don't expect a designated pass rushing type of edge to be taken in the first 3 rounds either. Edge, definitely, but if it is an edge, it has to be a player who can start in base for you in 4-3, and ideally somebody who has the potential to maybe kick inside on true passing downs. I want my JFM back. That can kind of fill multiple holes on your defensive line to some extent. But a player like Princely, who's freaking awesome, if he's there at 42, it'd be tempting, but if he and Will McDonald are on the field at the same time, you are not going to be able to stop the run at all. So I think an edge player, they're going to have to get a bigger edge player who can be firm against the run. You really only have, I think, spots for one Will McDonald type in a rotation. That makes sense. That's getting significant reps. And other than that, who knows, man? Yeah, of course, wide receiver, pipeline players at linebacker, guard, safety, late. But to me, early, pass catchers, trench players, and late, get your linebacker, safety, interior offensive lineman, maybe a corner, whatever, draft for special teams. So hopefully that wasn't saying a whole lot to say nothing, but excited to see what the Jets do. I won't be going live or anything, but I'll definitely make a video reacting to the first round pick. And, let's whatever, less than 12 hours coming up. Go Jets.